Hi everyone, it's Mr. Hamilton here. This question comes from the Pascal contest at the University of Waterloo's Center for Education in Mathematics and Computing. And it says this: if 4 to the power of 3 is equal to 8 to the power of a, the value of a is which one of the following 5? Well, the key here is not to look at it in terms of 4 and 8, because the power of 4 that gives us 8, 4 squared is 16. So what we have to do is we have to look this in terms of powers of 2. 4 is 2 to the power of 2. So that means that 4 to the power of 3 is 2 to the power of 2, all to the power of 3. Likewise, it means that 8 is 2 to the power of 3, all to the power of a. And when you start looking at it in terms of base 2, it gets really obvious, because we can apply the power rule for exponents, which gives us 2 times 3. This gives us 6. And then over here, this gives us 2 to the power of 3 times a. So now, because we have the same base, that means the exponents must be also equal to each other. So then we can say that 3a is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 3, and we get that a is equal to 2. And that is, in fact, one of the answers for this question. Now, if you had tried to tackle it the other way, if you try to tackle it in terms of base 4, what would have happened? Well, what you would have done is you would have said, well, 8 is actually 4 to the power of 1.5. And so 4 to the power of 1.5 to the power of a, 4 to the power of 3. Well, again, we can apply the power rule of exponents. And so this gives me 4 to the power of 1.5a, 4 to the power of 3. And so now that I have the same base, that means the exponents must be equal. So 3 is equal to 1.5 to the power of a. Divide by 1.5, and we get a is equal to 2. These questions can get progressively more difficult. Let me give you an example. What if I gave you something like this? 16 to the power of 5 is equal to 32 to the power of a. Pause the video, think about it, and see if you can solve it yourself, and then come back and see the solution. Now the key here is that 16 is 4 to the power of 2, and so you might think I can write that as 4 squared to the power of 5. The problem is 32 we cannot write to the power of 4. So we can take this one step further back to powers of 2. 16 is 2 to the power of 4. Well, 2 to the power of 4 to the power of 5, I can write 32 as a power of 4. That's 2 to the power of 5. And so 2 to the power of 5 to the power of a, using the power rule of exponents, gives me 2 to the power of 20 equals 2 to the power of 5a. And so now I have the same base, so I can write 20 equals 5a. The exponents are going to be equal. And so I'm going to get, after dividing by 5, that a is equal to 4. Let's look at one more example here to wrap up the video. So here we have a question where we have 2 different bases, and we also have the exponents that both have the variable in them, rather than just in one of the exponents. But we can use the same process we've done so far. 9 times a whole number does not give me 27, so I have to go back further than that and find a common base, and the common base is base 3. And so 9 can be written as 3 squared, so we have 3 squared to the power of 2x. And 27 can be written as 3 cubed. So 3 cubed to the power of x plus 5. And so what we can do, again, is use the power rule of exponents, and that gives me 3 to the power of 4x is equal to 3 to the power of 3x plus 15. And so now what I can see is, because they have the same base, the exponents are going to be equal. So that means that 4x is equal to 3x plus 15. And so now I can subtract 3x from both sides. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. That gets me x on the left side, and then I'm just left with 15 on the right side, and that is my final answer. X is equal to 15. If you wanted to check that, we could do that by simply subbing it into the left side. 9 to the power of 2 times 15, that's a really big number, but we could check that by doing that. We just type in 9 to the power of 30 into our calculator, and then we could take that one step further, actually. Rather than type it in our calculator, we could actually write this as 3 squared to the power of 30. Well, that would be 3 to the power of 60. So let's see if we get 3 to the power of 60 on the other side with our check. So the right side, we're going to get 27 to the power of 15 plus 5. So 27 to the power of 20. And so if we have 27 to the power of 20, that can be written as 3 cubed to the power of 20. And we get 3 with the power rule again to the power of 60. And we can say that therefore the left side is equal to the right side. We have confirmed that's the correct answer, and we didn't even have to use a calculator once. This is the power of bringing everything down to a common base and doing it just like this question was on this math challenge problem. If this was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you want to see more about exponential functions, you can check out the video that's showing on your screen now. Thanks so much for watching.